So yeah, episode 4 of Loki. It should be very interesting where the last 2 episodes are gonna go. So I'm just gonna go straight into talking about episode 4 because there's a lot of things that happen that I need to talk about. I need to just get it out there. This episode opens on Asgard. We get to see a young Sylvie being taken by Renslayer and the TVA. Wherever she went, she was creating a Nexus event because apparently she was not supposed to be born. Can't exactly remember if she was because she was not supposed to be born or because she was not supposed to be born a goddess of mischief. She was supposed to be born another male Loki, and maybe by her being a goddess of mischief, a female, she was creating an alternate timeline and she wasn't supposed to, and that's why she became a variant, and that's why the TVA tracked her and took her because she was not supposed to be born a female. That's what I'm guessing is happening, which I know a lot of other people had that same theory. That's why she didn't have many memories of her mother or her life, because she was taken as a young girl, because she was not supposed to be born a goddess of mischief. She was supposed to be born another male Loki, because if we see from the previous episode, when they're doing the whole meeting talking about all the other variants of Loki, we don't ever see a female variant. And even at the end credit scene in this episode, we see Loki with 3 other Lokis. Viking-like Loki. We see an elderly looking Loki who's wearing his costume accurate Loki costume, which I thought was really hilarious. A kid Loki, a lizard of some sort with a Loki crown on. So it seems like whenever there's a variant of Loki, it's never a female. That's why she was taken by the TVA, because she was a variant, because she was born a female, a goddess of mischief. Which to me is just like, it's not her fault she was born a female. I get why Sylvie's kind of against the TVA, because she didn't mean to be born a female. She didn't choose to be born a female. Now the TVA is attacking her for that exact reason. This is the episode where we get confirmation the timekeepers are not really real. What I mean by that is, we see Ramona Renslayer go down to the basement and we see the timekeepers. And they want her to get these Lokis, capture them, kill them. Obviously, because they're both variants, they're not supposed to be around. So Morbius goes and questions Renslayer about C20. Now, C20 is one of the TVA commanders that we saw Lady Loki take. Renslayer tells Morbius that C20 is dead. Her mind was too much for her, deteriorated, and she died because of her mind. Whenever someone has information like that, or they're gonna leak something, you kill them. Well, she didn't die from her mind taking over. The Timekeepers or Renslayer killed her because Renslayer knows the truth. She knew that all of this was true. She knew they were all variants. I know Renslayer has to know that. We've seen it. She knows. They killed C20 not because her mind killed her, but because she had the truth. She knew the truth. She knew everyone was variants. She knew she had a life before the TVA. She was gonna disrupt their entire plans. That's why they killed her. Not because her mind was going cuckoo, but because she knew the truth. She knew she had a family, she knew she had a life, she knew she had friends, and she could have told everyone else in the TVA, so they had to kill her because of that. It's crumbling around them. Sylvie and Loki kind of have like a heart-to-heart. Just really like their dynamic. And she's just kind of like feeling like defeated, and Loki's trying to like give her a prep talk. She says, I guess what makes a Loki is we lose because we die all the time. And Loki says, no, what makes a Loki is we may lose, but we never die. We survive. Yes. How many times has Loki died? How many times has he lost? But he's always survived. He's always come back. And in Thor 2, he's alive. He survives. That's what Loki does. He will lose, but he'll never die. He will always survive. He will always thrive. That's what we've seen from Loki. He's a snake. He sheds his skin. He sheds one life, comes back into another. He's like a cat. He's got 9 lives, I swear. I think he's starting to like her. And even when he's talking to Morbius, Loki keeps pestering Morbius. Is she okay? Is she okay? What'd you do to her? Morbius says, pruned her. Or she's gone. They erased her. And you can see Loki. He doesn't need to say anything. You can see in his facial expression that he just looks so upset. So you can see he's so distraught and upset about that. And before Morbius can even finish his sentence, Loki's like, what do you mean? What did you do? Why? Why would you do this? Morbius keeps pressuring Loki. Oh, your girlfriend. Oh, no. Tell us everything. What did she tell you? Why do you mean the TVA is lying to me? Loki finally shouts at him, the TVA is lying to you. You're all variants. You all had a past life. He tells Loki, oh, that's a good one. That's a nice prank. There's something else in the way his expression is. You can kind of see him hesitate for a little bit. And honestly, I think in that moment, he was trying to tell Loki he didn't believe it. But I think really deep down, he kind of thought it was true. I think he knew that maybe Loki was telling the truth to some extent. It just took Morbius doing some detective skills when he's talking to Renslayer about all of this, being like, well, why can't I talk to Sylvie? When Renslayer has her back turned, he takes her template, finds the interrogation file video of C20, being like, I am a variant. I had a life. That's when Morbius knows, oh shit, Loki's telling the truth. I am a variant. This is true. They locked up Loki. They got back to the TVA. They locked up Loki in this forever time loop. A moment in his past when he pissed off Lady Sif. So Lady Sif makes an appearance. In a past memory where he pissed off Lady Sif by cutting off half of her hair. A continuous loop of her punching him in the face, kneeing him in the groin and saying, you will forever be alone. What this show and all these Marvel shows have done really well that I keep talking about, I swear, is they do a really good job of talking more about the mental and the emotional journeys and trauma that these characters have experienced. Whether it be Wanda dealing with Vision's death and how that affected her, Falcon having to deal with being a man of color, picking up a shield in a very complicated history, Bucky coming to terms with, I did all these bad things, I was brainwashed, but I still did them. And now you have Loki opening up about, I don't like hurting people. And now, after so many times of being kicked off and kicked around by Lady Sif, he finally admits he's a narcissistic. He seeks attention because he's afraid of being alone. That hurt, man. I just wanted to take Loki and give him a giant hug and be like, it's okay. We're all here for you. There's millions and millions of fanboys and fangirls here for you, Loki. Just let us love you, okay? Just to push the dagger in even further, Lady Sif says, you will forever be alone. And Morbius comes back in, it's Loki, and he's like, if you want to save your friend, if you want to save Sylvie, you have to come with me right now. You get to Morbius's office, and Renslayer's there. It's over. It's all going to hell now, Morbius says. How could you do this to me? The thing that just pushes the dagger in even further is in my past life, I could have been riding a jet ski. I could have owned a jet ski. And the TVA agents prunes and dissolves Morbius. Morbius is gone. You are bullcrapping me right now. No, absolutely not. No. Oh my God, are you kidding me? What the fuck? I was so mad. So mad. All the people to get rid of, you have to get rid of Morbius. I don't know why I'm so focused on this jet ski, but Marvel does this where they tell you something about a character and you want that character to do it. I want Loki and Morbius just to ride on a jet ski into the sunset together. Is that too much to ask? Apparently so. So when all this is going on, when Loki's talking to Morbius or these other things are happening, you see another TVA agent, B-15. She, like with C-20, she an illusion of some of her previous memories, of her past memories. So she's starting to kind of be like, well, something's not right. She goes to visit Lady Sylvie, opens a portal and says, come with me, asks, what happened? What's going on and all this stuff. Sylvie just comes clean and tells her, you're a variant. You're all variants. You all had previous lives. B-15 says, show me. And she does. Sylvie's doing all of this because she knows how these people are. I think it's her plan all along is to destroy the TVA. They're all variants. They were all taken against their will. They had no control, no choice. They were given no choice to be timekeepers, to be TVA members. That's why Sylvie wants to probably destroy the TVA or get rid of them or help these people out, is because she knows what it's like to be taken against your will. She was born a female Loki when she was probably not supposed to be. TVA took her for that as a child and made her out to be this bad person when she's not. The same way the timekeepers took all these people, all these variants who had memories, lives, families, took them away, wiped their memories, and took them and made them to be TVA members. So she knows what it's like to be controlled and taken. And that's why her and B-15 help each other out. Because Renslayer takes Loki and Sylvie down to the basement to meet the timekeepers. A fight breaks out. It is Sylvie against Renslayer because Sylvie's pissed off because of Renslayer brought her in and took her when she was a child. They take care of everyone in the room. Renslayer is probably knocked out or something. But then Sylvie takes one of her swords, throws it at one of the timekeepers. Technically, she kills him, but not really, because all of the timekeepers are androids. They are not real. They're all androids. Leads me to believe Kane the Conqueror? Is that him? Is he the real timekeeper? I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Sylvie's just kind of like frustrated and upset because she thought she was going to get information on the timekeepers. She thought she was going to meet them, destroy them. Like, she thought this was the end of her goal. Another loose end, another never-ending story. Loki's trying to, like, console her, calm her down. And he's like, this is all new to me, and I don't know what to do. And I'm pretty sure if it wasn't for fucking Renslayer, he was literally this close to being like, oh, I like you. Like, maybe we could, like, grab a cup of coffee or something. He was this close. And fucking Renslayer has to come in with one of those dissolver sticks, and she dissolves and prunes Loki. I'm so done. I am so done. Are you shitting me? Are you serious? I can't. I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? Sylvie's like, no, I'm gonna keep you alive, Renslayer, because I want to know everything. I want the whole damn truth. This is our first Loki end credit scene. We see Loki on the ground, and he's like, where am I? What the hell's happened? You look up, you see Kid Loki, you see, like, a lizard Loki, a very elderly Loki, and you see, like, a Viking-looking Loki. And around them is a destroyed apocalyptic city, and you can see the Avengers Tower. Now, I have two theories about that. One, this is where all the variant Lokis went that the TVA took care of, is this place. Or is they are all variants of Loki that the TVA took care of, but the TVA put them in alternate reality where maybe Loki succeeded in destroying New York. The area they're in is the aftermath of the Chitauri taking over New York. I don't know, man! This episode had a lot. They threw a lot at us, so I don't know where the rest of the series is gonna go. I just need answers. Episode 5 of Loki. I'm just excited to see what's gonna happen in episode 6. Who really created the TVA? Who's the mastermind behind all of this? I don't know. So this episode starts off where obviously episode 4 ended. He's now in this area with these 3 other Lokis, and they're in this place called the Void. Apparently it's this place where we learn from Renslayer, this is where everything that gets pruned goes, because it's a place where the timeline where these variants can never grow. When they're talking to Loki, there is this giant cloud thing that comes after them. We learn his name is Alois, kind of this smoke monster, like demon lion hybrid thing. Sylvie believes is protecting what's at the end of time, which she believes to be the real person who created the TVA. My money is still betting on Kane the Conqueror. Last time we saw Sylvie, she was interrogating, or she was wanting the truth from Renslayer. Renslayer and her go to the main trial room. Renslayer asks Miss Minutes, can you give me all the files on the beginning of time and who created the TVA? And Miss Minutes is kind of going through it, kind of looking back at Renslayer like Renslayer was stalling the whole time. Guards show up. She grabs the template and she ends up pruning herself. Honestly, I thought was probably the best idea at this point, because if she's trying to get to Loki, what would be the best way to get to Loki, but also have a way back, would to be get a template and then prune yourself. Loki and these like other variants of Loki are just chilling in this little underground bunker basement thing. Old Loki says that his life was normal the way it happened. When it came to Thanos coming to attack their ship, instead of using a dagger like we know our Loki did, he used his magic, which would have probably made more sense in that whole situation. He used his magic, created such a powerful illusion that Thanos believed it. He was able to get away, and he realized that as a Loki, you cause so much pain and suffering and chaos wherever you go. He just went to a planet and stayed there for many, many years because he started to miss his brother. And so when he was about to leave the planet, the TVA probably was like, no, that's not a part of your timeline. That's not a part of the Loki story. We're gonna arrest you and prune you and put you in this void place. So hearing all of everyone's backstories, Loki decides that he wants to kill Aeolus. To kill it and find a way out of this void place. He's like, will you help me? And all the other Lokis just laugh him off. Loki's like, screw you guys, I'm gonna go kill this thing on my own. Climbing up the ladder to the top of the bunker, and he opens the bunker door. So there's another Tom Hiddleston Loki, but he's President Loki with his other ragbag band of other Lokis. They storm into the bunker. The battle of Loki versus Loki versus Loki versus Loki. It's just different variants and versions of Loki just fighting at each other. While they're doing that, Kid Loki, Alligator Loki, and Old Loki with our Loki, we know, escape. Old Loki and Kid Loki agree to help our Loki take down the TVA. So now we see Sylvie wake up in this void area, and she hears Aeolus coming for her, so she's kind of running away from. We see this car pull up. Lo and behold, in the car is freaking Mobius. She tells Morbius that she wants to try to enchant this thing. She can either get into its mind or figure out what's it's guarding, because she thinks that this creature, this thing, is guarding what's ever at the end of time, at the end of the void, and what created the TVA. I don't know if Renslayer actually knows what's going on. Slayer locked up B-15, and she goes to talk to B-15. B-15 kind of was like going on this whole speech about how you're never going to find out. It says this thing of Sylvie needs it. I understand why Sylvie needs to find out who created the TVA, because they took her and what they did to all these other variants. Why does she need it versus why does Renslayer want it? It's because probably Renslayer's been living in the dark, so she wants to know what is going on. Whereas Sylvie, but I think there's a deeper connection between Sylvie and these timekeepers, or these timekeepers, because she was not supposed to be born a female. Like, even all the other Lokis are all male versions. So she was the first female Loki. She needs it, I think more, she just needs it to like feel fulfilled and to be like, this is the person who took me. Why did they think I needed to be taken? I think that's what she probably needs more, is to know why was I born a female Loki, and why was I taken? Now that Morbius met up with all these other Lokis, they ask, well, what are you gonna do now? And Mobius says, hey, tell everyone the truth. And old Loki's like, you change on a dime just like that? And Mobius says, it's never too late to change. With Mobius, all he's ever known is the TVA. All he has ever known is to take variants and then keep the sacred timeline alive. That may be all he's ever known, but now that he knows the truth, he's not just going to go along with that anymore. Variants and all of the TVA members need to know the truth. All of this goes back to who created the TVA and why did they do it. Why do they think the sacred timeline is the best? Honestly, I don't think the sacred timeline is necessarily the best option. I'm wondering if the multiverse is supposed to be the right option. We're supposed to have multiple versions of Loki. We're supposed to have multiple versions of everything interacting together. I'm leaning more towards that the multiverse is the right way, the right timeline. I think maybe the person behind the TVA created the sacred timeline because they wanted order. They didn't want chaos. They wanted one version, one perfect timeline. I think that's why they created the TVA and created the sacred timeline. They created the sacred timeline and then took all these variants from other timelines and said, as punishment for you being variants, we're going to make you work and keep this sacred timeline. And in Mobius's credit, it's not too late to change. Look at our Loki. He's been through very many things. He's betrayed a lot of people, but it's never too late for him to change. I think this show is not only showing us great Loki moments, but also exploring his history and more of his magic skills and his story. But it's also a way for us to show to us that Loki can change, that Loki can be better. He can be whatever he wants to be. Like Mobius tells him last episode, you can be good, you can be whatever you want to be. Just because you're the god of mischief, essentially a Loki, does not mean that you can't change, does not mean that you can be better. You can be better, as Mobius says, you can change, as he says. I think this show does a really nice job of showing us that Loki has the potential to change. It may be hard for him to get out of his same patterns, but I think he can do it. I know he can do it. So they're gonna come up with a game plan to enchant the thing. So Sylvie and Loki have a really nice conversation outside. Sylvie's kind of like, well, I've never had a friend before. I really don't know what I'm doing. And they have this nice heart-to-heart about friendship and how this is all new for them. So Mobius is gonna go back and tell everyone about the truth about the TVA. And I love this moment so very much. I started crying. He holds out his hand to give Loki a handshake, and Loki hesitates for a minute. And instead of giving Mobius a handshake, Loki pulls him in for a hug. But not only that, he says, thank you, my friend. And honestly, Mobius and Loki, best of friends ever. I really want them to ride out in the sunset on a jet ski as the best of friends they can ever fucking be. Kid Loki and old Loki decide that they're going to stay here, and so it's up to Loki and Sylvie to try to distract this Aeolus creature. Loki got this dagger from Kid Loki. He lights it up, trying to wave it around to distract Aeolus, while Sylvie's trying to enchant the thing. It doesn't work. Old Loki coming in being the MVP that he fucking is, makes a fake Asgard, like an illusion, to try to distract Aeolus so that Loki and Sylvie can enchant Aeolus. So they try to do that, and Loki's never used enchantment magic before. Sylvie and Loki enchant the creature, and before it disappears, it just eats up and pretty much probably destroys old Loki. They enchant Aeolus, and Aeolus turns green and kind of like slowly fades away. We see this portal or this doorway open to another place, and it's like a medieval kind of looking castle, and in the background, which I'm guessing is like the sky, is kind of like multicolored. When Scott, went to the quantum realm. In the quantum realm, when they went in the first Ant-Man, but also when they went to rescue Janet, was it not multicolored and kind of like reds and pinks and yellows in the quantum realm? Or what I've been told is that Kane the Conqueror's home, I believe, is in the quantum realm. I'm not going to try to get ahead of myself, but this to me just is screaming Kane the Conqueror's behind it. Because we know he deals with time travel. We know he's done that. We've seen it in the Avengers TV shows, and we have Ramona Renslayer, who in the comics is his love interest. Kane the Conqueror is going to be in Ant-Man 3. We know all of this. So I'm maybe it's like far-fetched to say it's Kane the Conqueror, but honestly, he deals with time. His home, I believe, is in the quantum realm, and that looks like the quantum realm in that portal doorway. It seems like that's where we're going. I'm very excited for episode 6. I don't know what's going to happen. So thank you guys so much for watching this recap/review for episodes 4 and 5 of Loki. Stay tuned for next week when I will be doing a reaction and a review for episode 6 of Loki, the finale. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in another video very soon. Bye, guys.